Well, hello everyone. This is probably my favorite video that I will make in 2020. I recommend books pretty consistently each month in my favorites. I do have a page on my website. It's not current, but it does have some of my all-time favorite books and book series. But today I'm going to give you my top 20 books/book series that I read in 2020. Now, this does not include the newest release of series I've been reading for years and years. These are series that were brand new to me in 2020, and I'm sharing them with you. 19 out of the 20 are in fact series, and there is one standalone that I have to recommend to you. I should say that my taste in reading goes to the lighthearted and not particularly deep. There are plenty of people on YouTube and BookTube and all that who will give you their deep, insightful thoughts. I'm not looking for that at all. I'm looking for basically a beach read, except I love mysteries, I love paranormal, and if you can combine the two, I am over the moon thrilled. I have a little synopsis for each of them. I will say I do the majority, meaning all, of my reading on my mini iPad that has the Kindle app on it. The Kindle app is free, the mini iPad is not. That is what I use to read 90% of the time. 10%, I've got my phone with me in the car and I've got my head down. I'm not the one driving, and I'll pick up where I left off if we're like on a road trip or I'm bored or whatever, we're in line somewhere. I do pay each month to be a member of Kindle Unlimited because of the amount of books that I read. And I can't remember if it's $10 or $11 a month, but it pays for itself because basically I can check out an unlimited amount of books from the Kindle Unlimited selection, and most of the books I'm going to mention I found through Kindle Unlimited. A lot of these books can be found at your local library, or in this case, online at your local library, and there's a couple apps I use for that. The Libby app and the Overdrive app can both connect to your local library, so you don't even have to go to the library. Most libraries aren't open still, and you can still check out books, ebooks, that way. I am also on Goodreads. I get asked this a lot. I do connect what I'm currently reading there, and my profile is just MsGoldgirl if you want to follow me over there. All right, finally, let's dive in no particular order. First is what I'm actually reading right now, so I guess that's why it's at the top of the list, and it's the J.J. Graves mystery series. Now, I'm gonna look down a lot because I've printed out synopses for all of these. So the author is Liliana Hart, and it's a 10-book series so far. It takes place in a fictional small town kind of outside of Washington, D.C. The town's name is Bloody Mary. The main character, his name is JJ, is a former ER doctor who moves home after a tragedy and takes over the family funeral home business and becomes the county coroner as well. This is not a funny series. This is a straight up mystery series. There is no paranormal activity or any of that stuff. This is just straight up just mystery. I found that because of another series I started reading by Liliana Hart. It's the Addison Holmes mystery series. This one is more fun. It is set in Savannah, and the main character is living in another fictional small town outside of Savannah, and she is a school teacher turned wannabe private investigator who's sort of interning / working for her best friend's private investigative agency. And it has a lot of capers, it's funny, the characters are funny, and the mysteries are really good too. Number 3 is the Glimmer Lake series by Elizabeth Hunter. This one is definitely in the paranormal category, and quite a few of the series in the paranormal category that I started reading this year were specifically written for women over 40, which I find kind of interesting. They're like the Hallmark movies of paranormal mysteries. Okay, so with the Glimmer Lake series, there are 3 books, I believe, in the series, and it revolves around 3 best friends who get into a really bad car accident, and when they recover from it, they each have different paranormal abilities. Like one sees ghosts, one has visions, and one I can't remember the term for when you can touch something and know everything about the object or what the person was thinking when they were holding the object. That. Always a mystery in each one. And then there is a kind of spin-off from that called the Moonstone Cove series. And similar concept, 3 strangers come together during what would have been a mass shooting. The 3 of them suddenly find they have different psychic abilities, avert the issue, and then the book series kind of follows each of the main characters as they kind of learn more about themselves. Number 5 on my list is the Crow Investigations book series. This one is set in London. So the main character is a woman. She's a private investigator that has kind of run away from the family and the family business up to Scotland, but comes back to London to kind of continue her private investigating job. I have a thing with private investigators. I will admit, it's a job choice I would personally really enjoy. When I say family, there is this concept of sort of four different mob families in London, but they're not part of the mob. They're all kind of supernatural families that are running sort of this underworld in London. So it's really dark, pretty gritty, not humorous, but really, really good. Just finished the newest release this month. Number 6 is the 40 Proof series by Shannon Mayer. This definitely falls into the feel-good Hallmark movies kind of book series. Main character is a woman who went through a nasty divorce in Seattle, moves home to Savannah to kind of rediscover herself and recover, finds out that she has supernatural paranormal powers and that there's this whole other world of Savannah that coexists with normal people and all of that. And she's also becomes like a paranormal investigator. Next, number 7 is the Nocturne Falls series by Kristen Painter. There are 12 books in the series, and the concept of the book is a obviously fictional small town, that is a big tourist attraction because it's sort of like a Disneyland for the paranormal, supernatural. So all of the supernatural creatures that live there are open with their powers. There's vampires and witches and Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, every kind of supernatural or mythological creature. They live openly, but all the tourists that come to the town think it's all fake. There's different storylines for each book that feature on all the different people that live in the town, and it's fun, and I love it. Kristen Painter has featured pretty prominently. She writes prolifically and has a bunch of different series, so I would get through one and then hop onto the next one. So the next one, also by Kristen Painter, is the Shadow Veil series, and the main character is basically this town that was created by a witch or a sorceress who was in love with a vampire. I know, when you say this stuff out loud, it sounds ridiculous. And she created this town to be in perpetual gloom, not quite pitch black darkness, but darkness, so that her vampire lover could walk around during the day as well. And all the characters that come to live in this town are cursed in some way, and they're trying to find their way out of the curse. So each of the books in the series focuses on one of the townspeople and their curse. Last one from Kristen Painter is the First Fangs Club. This one's, it's funny and it's fun. And the main character is a mob wife whose husband dies, and he's the head of the family, and she gets attacked and turned into a vampire. And like what happens from there? It's hilarious. And anyway, highly recommend that one. Okay, number 10, also fun, is the Tiffany Black Mystery Series. This is by A.R. Winters. There are 24 books in this series so far. I haven't finished the series yet. The main character is a she's a good dealer at a casino in Vegas, but she's struggling to become a private investigator. She wants out of the casino world, and she's also obsessed with cupcakes, not making them, just eating them. And it sort of follows her adventures or misadventures through Vegas, and as she gets hired to do different cases, and it's fun and it's funny. Now on the flip side, this one is not fun or funny, but it really hooks you in. It's the Shea Archer series by Jana De Leon, and it is set in New Orleans, and the main character is a woman who is adopted as a teenager. She's found wandering the streets, and she has no memory of who she was before she was adopted. She's adopted by a wealthy, well-connected family in New Orleans. She becomes a private investigator. Are there really that many I would love to know. If anyone here is, in fact, a private investigator, give me a wave. I've never met one. If you go by all these books, we're just crawling with women investigators. She investigates really dark, gritty crimes, and she's also trying to figure out where she came from and how she got to where she is. So really good series. Now we have 2 series in a row from the same author, Molly Harper. The first kind of kicks it off. It's the Jane Jameson series. The main character is a librarian in a small town, I believe in Kentucky, who becomes a vampire and what that entails. And it's really funny. And it's more like a Stephanie Plum type character, if you're familiar with the Janet Ivanovich series. And that book series, I think there's 4 books in that one, kicks off a spin-off called the Half Moon Hollow series. The town she lives in is called Half Moon Hollow, and it follows all the other shenanigans of the other characters that you start to meet in the original series. All right, number 14 is the Beginner's Guide to Necromancy series by Haley Edwards. There's also a spin-off one. I didn't list it because I wanted to stick with 20. And the main character is a ghost tour guide in Savannah who also is a necromancer. I think I've never said that word out loud. I don't know if I'm saying it right. And she is part of this, again, sort of this shadow society world of Savannah that is involved with paranormal and supernatural and sort of coexists in a justice type system. There's the other world sort of justice system, and then normal people. And it follows her through that. Number 15 is The Witches of Palmetto Point by Wendy, I think it's Wendy Wang or Wendy Wang, I don't know. The main character is part of a family of witches, and she can see and hear and talk to ghosts, and is also an empath, and the book series follows her and her family, and there's mysteries along the way. Now this series, number 16, was not new to me, but towards the beginning of the quarantine period, I really got into this series and read every single book. And I don't know how many. There's at least 20, I want to say. It's the Kitty Norville series by Carrie Vaughn. The main character is a late night alternative rock DJ who gets turned into a werewolf, and then she takes that and turns her late night kind of shift into a paranormal supernatural creature talk show, and it deals with her dealings with other supernatural creatures, werewolves and vampires in Denver and kind of beyond. And it's not a comedy, it really hooks you in. It's a great series. Number 17 is the Happily Everlasting series. This is a unique concept because each book in the series is written by a different author. And I believe that's how I found some of the authors that I've mentioned earlier in this video, because they contributed to the series. It's set in a small town in Maine, and it says, quote, where there is no such thing as normal. And it's a really nice blend of mystery, paranormal, romance, kind of cozy, just good times. Number 18 on my top 20 is the Davis Wade Crime Caper series, written by Gretchen Archer. The books are set in Biloxi, Mississippi, which, if you did not know, is a huge gambling area. They have I guess it's legal to have casinos there. And the main character is on a security team for one of the casinos. And this is it's hilarious. They're funny. The mysteries are good. The characters are fabulous. And it's definitely a Stephanie Plum kind of character, but in Mississippi in the casino world. The last of the series that I have to recommend for 2020 was the Flower Shop Mystery Series. The main character is a young woman who owns her own florist shop. She has a florist, flower shop, and she also happens to solve mysteries. Very sweet, very PG. I would say almost G-rated in characters that date for years, and I don't even know if they've kissed. So if you want to just skip the romance or steamy stuff and just stick with a mystery series, this is the one for you. I think there are 21 books in the series so far, so it'll keep you busy. I haven't finished it yet. And then the only standalone book I think I read, but definitely the only one I would recommend for 2020 was Outstanding. I think I mentioned it twice in favorites this year, and it's Feels Like Falling by Christy Woodson Harvey. It's such a feel-good book. I read it at the beginning of the summer. I think it was meant to be a beach read. It is set in a small coastal town in the South. I can't remember if it's Georgia, probably Georgia. Might be one of the Carolinas. And Christy Woodson Harvey has written another series that I really love, but this book by itself, the two main characters are two women from two totally different socioeconomic statuses. One is very wealthy, one is down on her luck. Their paths cross, and what happens when these two women meet and interact is the book. And it's uplifting and wonderful and just exactly the kind of book I think we all need in 2020. If you have some downtime in the next few weeks and you need something to read, I think I got you started. I would love to hear back from you. What were some of your standout reads from 2020? Feel free to recommend a book series, a standalone, even if it's a category that I haven't mentioned, like historical fiction or nonfiction or inspirational. You never know. We're always looking for something to read. That's one of my most asked questions is, what are you reading? Can you recommend me a book? So let's share love. Mention your favorites down in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Because it's daily December, I'm making another video for tomorrow. I'll see you there. Hope you're watching. Thanks for watching today. Bye.